Hi, welcome to the channel. Today I'm painting Vespid Stingwings. I've had a Hivestorm Kill Team box in my backlog for some time now and decided to get some of it painted for the channel. Coming up with a color scheme, I drew inspiration from an old World of Warcraft zone called Sangar Marsh from the Burning Crusade expansion. Although it was more than a decade ago I played the game, this zone comes to mind from time to time. I will make these Stingwings look like they belong there, in that gloomy, mysterious place. So, with the model prime black, I go for scale 75's black leather as base for the color scheme. I mix black leather with Pro Acryl Ivory 1:1 and airbrush at a zenithal angle, focusing on the areas facing our light source. I add more ivory to the mix and target the highest points of the model directly facing our light. I don't dry brush very often. Frankly, I'm not that good at it, but for this kind of model, I think it works well. Also, this scheme is really made for speed painting. Work around the whole model until you are satisfied with the highlights. I base coat the wings, belly, weapon and the unit on the back with Pro Acryl Bold Titanium White. I needed to do 2 coats for a nice even coverage. For the cylinders on the weapon and the back unit, I use Vallejo's Black Grey. With scale 75's Viking Gold, I give the weapon some shine. I coat the wings and belly with red oxide from Liquitex. I really love this step. Look at that vivid color. I reach for dark grey from Vallejo and give the claws, fangs and horns a base coat. With Mechanicus Standard Grey from Citadel, I paint the stone on the base. I use rocket flesh for the skull. I mix an oil wash using Winsor & Newton Lamp Black with odorless white spirits. I mix this wash quite thin so it flows nicely into the recesses of the model. I use a cotton swab with a little white spirits to wipe off the wash from the larger highlighted surfaces. We only want to keep it in the recesses. I take Pro Acryl Orange and dry brush the wings on both sides. Without cleaning my brush, I use lemon yellow from Vallejo and keep dry brushing. You can go back to the yellow paint a couple of times to add intensity. For the belly, I use the same colors, but will be using the brush. I start with orange. I highlight with lemon yellow, placing dots in the upper parts of the orange, making it look like it's glowing. I also use the yellow to further highlight the wings to make them pop. So, for the unit on the back and weapon, I will be using Apothecary White. Before applying, pre-coat the surfaces with Lamian Medium. This makes it easier to manipulate the contrast paint and push it into the recesses. I clean up the white parts from excess contrast paint before moving on. With French Mirage Blue, From Vallejo, I highlight the horns, claws and fangs. Need some studio gear or hobby tools? I've included links to the products I use in the description below. If you make a purchase through those links, I get a small kickback at no extra cost for you. It's a fantastic way to support the channel. I also highlight the cylinders with the same color. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. It would really make my day. I mix French Mirage Blue with Ivory 1:1 and add the final highlights. I decided to go over the white parts again to make them more crisp using bold titanium white. The crystal in the weapon gets a coat of warp lighting contrast paint. The black oil wash dulled down our previous dry brush highlights a bit, so with the same mix as before, I lightly go over the upper parts of the model again, focusing on the face, shoulders and arms. With the dry brush still in hand, I mix Mechanicus Standard Grey with some white and work on the stone. To highlight the crystal, I go for pale green from Pro Acryl, hitting the raised points. With white, I make small dots in the pale green for some extra sparkle. I use Scale 75's Elven Gold to highlight the gold parts on the weapon. For the teeth, I use Pro Acryl Ivory with a tiny amount of black leather to tint it. I paint small white dots in the eye sockets. Now, to give the eyes their color, I use Ianden yellow contrast paint. The skull on the base need a final touch, so I dry brush on some far brown from scale 75. I had some leftover golds on my wet palette, so I put them to use here. I apply PVA glue to the base. For basing material, I went for base-ready moss earth from Geek Gaming Scenics. To give the base some light orange tones to match the model, I used some pigments from Vallejo. To hold everything in place, I use matte sealant spray. And that's it, this mini is ready to deploy. Feel free to leave a comment with any questions, and don't forget to like and subscribe.